And by the way, we're going to have growth in the auto industry like nobody's ever seen. Plants are opening up all over the place. Deals are being made. Never seen. That's a combination of the election win and tariffs.
The fine print. So, do his plans actually help Americans get ahead? Not even close. President Trump is trying to deliver an unprecedented giveaway to his billionaire friends. He's on the hunt to find trillions of dollars to pass along to the wealthiest in America. And to do that, he's going to make you pay in every part of your life.
The night belonged to Donald Trump until Elissa Slotkin stepped in. As a newly elected Democratic senator from Michigan, she was chosen to deliver her party's official response to Trump's congressional address. Her speech was sharp, measured, and direct, hitting Trump on key issues like the economy, governance, and foreign policy. Slotkin, a former CIA analyst and national security official, didn't waste any time calling out the new administration's early missteps. She painted Trump's return to power as chaotic and reckless, warning that his policies could push the US into economic turmoil. But who is she, and why does her speech matter? We explain. For many Americans, Elisa's rebuttal was their first introduction to her. But in Washington, she's seen as a rising star. A former CIA analyst fluent in Arabic and Swahili, Slotkin has spent years in national security, serving in both Republican and Democratic administrations. Under President George W. Bush, she worked on the National Security Council. Under Barack Obama, she served as acting Assistant Secretary of Defense for International Security Affairs. Her political career began in 2018 when she flipped a Republican held House seat in Michigan, part of the Democratic wave that year. Last year, she narrowly won her Senate race against former Congressman Mike Rogers, even as Trump carried the state. Now, as a member of the Senate Committees on Armed Forces, Homeland Security, and Agriculture, Alyssa is positioning herself as a centrist Democrat focusing on economic security and responsible governance. Alyssa's most pressing arguments centered on the economy, a topic that played a major role in the Democrats' electoral losses last year. She warned that if Trump isn't careful, his policies could, and I quote, walk us right into a recession. End quote. Despite Trump's campaign promises, everyday Americans are still feeling financial strain. Grocery prices are climbing, home costs remain high, and wages haven't kept pace with inflation. Slotkin pointed out that Trump has yet to offer a serious plan to address these concerns. She said, and I quote, grocery and home prices are going up, not down, and he hasn't laid out a credible plan to deal with either. End quote. Her remarks come at a time when economic anxiety is running high. Many voters who switched to Trump in the last election cited frustration over rising costs and slow responses from Washington. Slotkin made it clear that while change is needed, it must be done responsibly, not through erratic decision making. She also tackled immigration, another issue where Republicans have polled stronger than Democrats. But rather than engaging in political rhetoric, she focused on solutions. She said, and I quote, the border without actually fixing a broken immigration system is dealing with the symptom, not the disease. America is a nation of immigrants. End quote. This was a direct challenge to Trump's hardline stance, which has focused on border security without addressing pathways to citizenship or reforming visa systems. Alyssa's message was clear: enforcement alone isn't a fix. One of the most striking moments of her speech came when she addressed Trump's foreign policy, particularly his handling of US allies and adversaries. She pointed to his recent meeting with Ukrainian President Zelensky, where Trump and Vice President JD Vance publicly humiliated the wartime leader. She said, and I quote, that scene in the Oval Office wasn't just a bad episode of reality TV, it summed up Trump's whole approach to the world. End quote. She accused Trump of favoring authoritarian leaders like Putin while alienating long standing allies like Canada and Europe. It was a sharp contrast to Trump's assertion that he is strengthening America's global standing. Elissa's speech wasn't just a response to Trump, it was a declaration of leadership. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer called her a rising star in the party, and her performance in this rebuttal solidified that status. As Trump pushes forward with his administration's agenda, Elissa is likely to be a key voice of opposition, particularly on national security and economic policy. With her sharp delivery, deep experience, and no nonsense approach, Elissa's name is one Americans will likely hear a lot more in the coming years. Listen in to her full speech.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elissa Slotkin. I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak tonight. America wants change, but there's a responsible way to make change and a reckless way. And we can make that change without forgetting who we are as a country and as a democracy. Look, the president talked a big game on the economy, but it's always important to read the fine print. So, do his plans actually help Americans get ahead? Not even close. President Trump is trying to deliver an unprecedented giveaway to his billionaire friends. He's on the hunt to find trillions of dollars to pass along to the wealthiest in America. And to do that, he's going to make you pay in every part of your life. Grocery and home prices are going up, not down, and he hasn't laid out a credible plan to deal with either of those. His tariffs on allies like Canada will raise prices on energy, lumber, and cars, and start a trade war that will hurt manufacturing and farmers. Your premiums and prescriptions will cost more because the math on his proposals doesn't work without going after your health care. Meanwhile, for those keeping score, the national debt is going up, not down. And if he's not careful, he could walk us right into a recession. In order to pay for his plan, he could very well come after your retirement, the Social Security, Medicare, and VA benefits you worked your whole life to earn. The president claims he won't, but Elon Musk just called Social Security the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time. We need a more efficient government. You want to cut waste? I'll help you do it. But change doesn't need to be chaotic or make us less safe. The mindless firing of people who work to protect our nuclear weapons, keep our planes from crashing, and conduct the research that finds the cure for cancer, only to rehire them 2 days later, no CEO in America could do that without being summarily fired. But securing the border without actually fixing our broken immigration system is dealing with the symptom and not the disease. America is a nation of immigrants. We need a functional system keyed to the needs of our economy that allows vetted people to come and work here legally. So I look forward to the president's plan on that. Because here's the thing, today's world is deeply interconnected. Migration, cyber threats, AI, environmental destruction, terrorism. One nation cannot face these issues alone. We need friends in all corners, and our safety depends on it. President Trump loves to say peace through strength. That's actually a line he stole from Ronald Reagan. But let me tell you, after the spectacle that just took place in the Oval Office last week, Reagan must be rolling in his grave. We all want an end to the war in Ukraine, but Reagan understood that true strength required America to combine our military and economic might with moral clarity. And that scene in the Oval Office wasn't just a bad episode of reality TV. It summed up Trump's whole approach to the world. He believes in cozying up to dictators like Vladimir Putin and kicking our friends like the Canadians in the teeth. He sees American leadership as merely a series of real estate transactions. As a Cold War kid, I'm thankful it was Reagan and not Trump in office in the 1980s. Trump would have lost us the Cold War. Don't tune out. It's easy to be exhausted, but America needs you now more than ever. If previous generations had not fought for this democracy, where would we be today? Second, hold your elected officials, including me, accountable. Watch how they're voting. Go to town halls and demand they take action. That's as American as apple pie. Third, organize. Pick just one issue you're passionate about and engage. And doom scrolling doesn't count. Join a group that cares about your issue and act. And if you can't find one, start one. Some of the most important movements in our history have come from the bottom up. So thank you tonight for caring about your country. Just by watching, you qualify as engaged citizens. And I promise that I and my fellow Democrats We'll do everything in our power to be the principled leaders that you deserve. Good night, everyone.